All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started on scheduling information. As I mentioned, we're going to talk about this week's scheduling, which is it's kind of like last week. It's just they're fulfilling last dealers' allocations that maybe haven't been fulfilled yet. And then we're going to I have information on what's going to start for next month's allocations, which will, I believe, be starting in November 13th, maybe. Yeah, because I believe they're due. So I think November 13th might be. So not next week, but the week after is when they might happen. So we'll keep our eye out. It might be happening next week. And again, we do this weekly, so we'll let you know. Anyway, so yeah. So I'm not sure exactly when production will start and when those are start getting scheduled. Either next week or either next Thursday or the Thursday after. And again, we'll keep you updated for those starting next week again. But we'll get you some information on kind of what some of those constraints and what's not scheduling and everything for each of the models as we go through them. I got a lot of sheets here to go through on this. So first, let's start off though by covering some of these terms that we might talk about. So, of course, order banks, that is where you place your orders. For dealers, they'll place all their retail orders and stock orders. And a retail order is a customer placed order, whereas a stock order is an order they place that fulfills their allocation for stock and inventory on their lot. Right. So if they're in a model where they don't have a retail order, then they would make sure they have stock orders in there to fulfill those allocations. So a dealer. And then priority codes are based on part of it's based on the priority. So, on their order. So if it's a retail order, it's going to be a 03 to 19. Stock orders are 20 to 80, that kind of thing. Lower the better. So that's why retail orders are always looked at first. And then the production dates. And then we're going to be scheduling means that they're scheduling those orders for future dates. So they're going to schedule this month or this week for build dates in the future. Dates, right? They schedule ahead so they're ready to go. They don't just schedule let's schedule these for tomorrow. It's not like that. They got to schedule it well in advance to make sure supplies are there and ready to go. So those production dates are the vehicle dates that they plan to go ahead and schedule those. And then allocations. Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule their orders. An order cannot be scheduled for production date without having an allocation. That's just how that works. So a dealer needs an allocation to schedule an order in the order bank, and the dealer earns allocations from their sales of each model within their region. Just depends on how many you sell. We don't sell a lot of Escapes. We don't get as many Escape allocations. We sell more Explorers and F-150s. We get a lot more of those. So kind of goes that way. So each model has its own allocation system set up for that. Constraints, those are options that may be in short supply or take longer to build. Capacity is the planned production rate for a given motor, trim, or option, that kind of thing. We'll actually show that when we're talking about next month and what it is this week versus what it's going to be next month for Maverick. It is different. Job 1 and Job 2 is the production run within a model year. We know Mustang is wrapping up Job 1. And they're going to start moving to job 2. Now, doesn't mean if you have an order in there and it's not scheduled for job 1, doesn't mean that it's gone. Sometimes they make some different changes to the production or a certain option or something that may change for job 2 timeline. And then balance out is when they're balancing out a certain option or model altogether. So we know Edge this is a month that they are going to continue to balance out for the 24 model year Edge and the Edge completely, sunsetting it completely. So there you go. All right, there's that. All right, so let's get in here and start talking about the 24 Mustang. All right, so 24 Mustang, and there's about 1,061 unscheduled orders in the order bank for the Mustang. The order banks are open for the Mustang right now, so keep that in mind. The Mustang, that's cleanup scheduling for job 1 balance out, as we mentioned. They are scheduling for production weeks December 4th through January 15th. So again, a dealer needs to have an allocation for that. Retail only ordering restrictions are the Night Pony package and the GT Performance package. Those are retail only. Exhausted availability would be the Dark Horse handling package. So there's a very low production. We're going to talk about next month and how that is like 0% here in just a second. So there you go. So there's information for this week on the Mustang. Now, talking about next week, We're just going to put these all into one. So for next month, they're going to be scheduling for the last part of January as well as February production. So they're going to be scheduling from January 22nd, the week of that, to uh, the end of February next month. And then they're going to be retail only ordering. Restrictions will be the Night Pony package and G Performance package. That's not changing for next month. And then also new California's special package has limited availability for next month for those production dates in late January and February. And then also the 100A orders will require the optional 18-inch wheels starting next month. So that's going to be for your job too. So there you go. So there's Mustang information on that. So moving on, we do have the 24 model year Escape. This week is not scheduling. By the way, the Escape, there's currently 711 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for Escape. And the order banks are open up for the Escape. Don't forget about that. So if you want to order an Escape, no scheduling this week. For next week, or for next month, I should say, they are going to be scheduling for January and February build dates. So for 2 months right there. January, February production. National controls on ST line is at 37%. That'll be their capacity. And the premium tech package will be 8% right there. And then regional controls on the active is 36%. That's the production rate. And then the hybrids will be 12% there. We hybrid available for stock ordering for next month. So keep that in mind too. So there you go. Nothing else on Escape other than that. There you go. All right. So that is 24 Escape. Moving on, 24 model year Bronco Sport. There's currently 164 unscheduled orders in the order bank for the Bronco Sport. Not that many in there. And the order banks are open up for the Bronco Sport as well. This week is going to be cleanup scheduling. Again, if your dealer has an allocation available, they'll schedule for December build dates, just the weeks of December 4th through December 25th. Limit availability on Badlands, limit availability for the splash guards, and exhaust availability for the convenience package, which is optional on the Big Band and the freewheeling edition. So keep that in mind. Now, for next month, for scheduling, the Bronco Sport is scheduling for production weeks in January and February. So they're going to be scheduling for 2 months. And the only thing limited on here is it says the Big Ben and freewheeling convenience package will be limited to 24%. So that's still not a bad number. Every 1 out of every 4 will have the convenience package. So that's not too bad. Also, the freewheeling and black appearance package will be available for stock ordering starting next month. So there you go. So you can start doing that. You might be able to order those now, but for scheduling, I should say, for next month. So there you go. All right, moving on. 24 model year Edge. And there's currently 1,531 unscheduled orders in the order bank. They are not, and I believe the order banks are closed for the 24 Edge because it is discontinuing, and there's no scheduling for this week. So they're not scheduling for this week. Now, for next month, they are doing February balance out production. So they're going to schedule for the finish. So hopefully get those last 1,500 orders scheduled because that is it. It's balancing out for not only for the model year, but for the model completely. Does say in here 400A, 401A, ST has balanced out. ST is not going to schedule. So if you have an unscheduled ST order, it's not going to schedule. You're not going to get it. So hopefully you can find one. Anyway, moving on. 24 model year Ranger. Let me find my sheet on that. There we go. 24 model year Ranger. There's currently 3,553 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. The plant is back up and running. So I think it started yesterday. Order banks are open up for the 24 model year Ranger. And it does say in here, we have a tentative agreement with the UAW. MAP is scheduled to restart production on 11/2, and scheduling will resume on 11/30. So there you go. So they're going to start scheduling at the very end of the month. And so, well, you can probably see what the note's going to be for next month's scheduling. Ranger is not going to schedule until the very well. It says 11:30, but probably won't start happening until the month after that. So no scheduling for the Ranger or Ranger Raptor for next month. So still, there's a lot that they already have scheduled that are going to need to be built, and so they're basically pushing those into those dates. So because of that, no need to schedule for the Ranger. All right, moving on. 23 model year Bronco. According to this, there's currently 9,136 unscheduled Bronco orders in the order bank. Doesn't say a model year, so I assume that's both 23 and 24. Order banks are open up for the 24 model year with the exception of two-door Heritage and Heritage Limited. And it does say in here, we have a tentative agreement with UAW. MAP is scheduled to restart production 11/2, and scheduling will resume on 11/9. So they're gonna next week. We're gonna talk about that because that actually, since that's in here 11/9, that actually does tell you and give you an idea that that's when they're gonna start scheduling for November's production information. We're talking about the end of each one of these. It says any scheduled order cancellations due to plant stoppage and our current capacity will be communicated as soon as possible. So there are, it does say it looks like they're balancing out 23 model year. That's why they're pretty much not scheduling. Shadow Black on non-Raptors is balanced out for 23 model year. It's done. The two-door Heritage and Heritage Limited are not yet available for 24 model year, it says. And the 23 model year Bronco is planned to balance out on 12/22. So that is the last day of production for that. There you go. That's a Bronco. Not quite yet. So let's talk about Bronco for next month. They are going to be scheduling for 24 model year startup for January production dates. So they're going to schedule for January 1st through, it says, February 26th. So they're going to schedule January startup, but also February. Normally they put both dates in there. Stop build is still on the two-door Heritage Limited, and non-Raptor Shadow Black paint is unavailable. So that's even for the 24 model year. So there you go. So I hope you don't want a black non-Bronco or non-Raptor Bronco. There you go. All right, moving on. 24 model year Maverick. Let's get to that. What are we down to on Maverick? So currently Maverick, we have 36,097 unscheduled retail orders. So it looks like to me they got more orders for Maverick in the last week. So that's how many unscheduled we have. Order banks are open up still for the 24 model year Maverick. Plenty of orders they can still take. Again, remember, they are producing about 10,000 units a month. So keep that in mind. Because of that, they could still take more Maverick orders. So they are open. Cleanup scheduling this week. So again, if a dealer has an allocation, they could get scheduled. They are scheduling for production dates in December. So December 4th through the week of December 25th. Limited availability on the splash guards. We should be taking that off anyway. Also, exhausted availability on the automatic continuously variable transmission. That's a transmission for the hybrid. And then it also says 17-inch carbonized gray painted aluminum wheel, which is standard on the XLT. So they're probably looking at this point for this week. Now, again, that's information for this week. They're looking for non-XLT orders more than likely, and non-hybrids. So if you got an EcoBoost, Lariat EcoBoost XL, probably got a good shot. So that's what that reads to me right there. And then for next month, they are scheduling, just like with Bronco Sport, they are scheduling for 2 months. They're scheduling for January and February production dates. And it does say in here, well, this is saying January to February, but yet it does say January production. So I bet you they mean, I bet you these dates in here are incorrect because I bet you that's supposed to be 1/1 to 1/26. Anyway, so Maverick does say the only note in here for next month is that the hybrid engine will be limited to 40% of November production. So 40% production for January production dates. So that's going to be, we are getting a little bit of hurt on hybrid right there. So it is what it is, right? All right, moving on. 23 and 24 Explorer, it's saying in here. Of course, we know the order banks are closed for the 23 model year, but open for the 24 model year. Currently, 247 unscheduled Explorer retail orders in the order bank. Doesn't say what year, so I assume it's for both. And then it says we have a tentative agreement with UAW. The plant is scheduled to restart production on 11/2. 23 model year Explorer is planned to balance out on 12/22, the same dates as the Bronco. Scheduling for 23 model year is complete, so they are done with scheduling for 23. So if you had a 23 model year order, it went unscheduled, did not get scheduled, put in that 24 model year order. We had orders scheduled through the week of 11/27. Therefore, programming will resume from that date. However, any scheduled order cancellations due to plant stoppage and or current capacity will be communicated as soon as possible. So they're probably trying to figure out how many of those can they get still fulfill and how many they're going to have to cancel. So hold on tight for that. It says, please note, scheduled stock orders with a December build date have the highest probability of cancellation. So they're going to cancel stocks first. So is what will happen before they cancel any retail orders. 24 model year update. We're currently wholesaling 24 model year Explorer volumes for January, February 24 production. And then we will start scheduling 24 model year orders on 11/30. So they are not scheduling for this week, of course, because of that. So there you go. And then for next month, as we mentioned they're going to be scheduling for 24 model year for January startup right there. The regional control and constraint is ST line. They're going to capacity 18%, or ST, I'm sorry, 18%, ST line 8%. And then Platinum 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive, ST line and King Ranch must have the trailer tow package on there, option 52T. Limited 300A must delete the trailer tow package 52T. So make sure you don't have those on those orders. And that is for 24 model year information. So there you go. All right. Expedition, 24 model year Expedition. There's currently 1,204 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for that. The order banks are open up for 24 model year. And for this week, it says we have a tentative agreement with UAW. Kentucky Truck Plant is scheduled to restart production at 11/30. Platinum will require optional 22-inch wheel. Platinum will require multi-contoured seat removal to be scheduled for production, and limited 302A will require the sandstone trim. So there you go. It doesn't mention that they're scheduling or not. Oh wait, no, it does say scheduling to restart production on 11/30. So it does sound like they're doing that. So next month for 24 model year Expedition, they will be scheduling for January build dates. Platinum will require 22-inch wheel, and limited 302A will require sandstone trim. They don't mention the multi-contoured seat though, so maybe that'll be back for next year's or for next month. So there you go. All right. 24 model year Super Duty. So currently there are, how do I not have that one? I lost my 24 unscheduled sheet. I think I grabbed it on one of the others. I hope. Either that or I didn't print it off. Oh, I don't have it here. Give me a second. Let me pull it up real quick. All right. Super Duty. So I didn't schedule that one. Okay. Or I didn't print it. There's currently 25,634 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for the Super Duty. Order banks are open up still right now. And for this week, here's some notes. It says, 24 model year Super Duty update. We have a tentative agreement with UAW. Kentucky Truck Plant is scheduled to restart production on 11/2, and scheduling will resume on 11/9. So no scheduling this week for 24 model year Super Duty. It says to maximize capacity, scheduled orders may be pushed out to January build weeks. So some of these are going to get already pushed into what they're going to schedule for next month. It says scheduling production weeks at Ohio assembly plant will be from 11/27 to 12/18. So it does look like they're still scheduling for Ohio. So that's a lot of your chassis cabs are built in Ohio. And F450s and 550s, I believe. It says limit availability for F450, F550, and Lariat. Limit availability for the 7.3 gas. The 18-inch sparkle silver painted cast aluminum wheel that's standard on the XLT F350 single rear wheel. Also, the GBK frame, which is optional on the F350 two-wheel drive with the diesel with the gas. Well, it actually says a 7.3 diesel engine, so I'm not sure. With the 145-inch dually and 145-inch single rear wheel. I want to make a note here and try to contact the brand manager and find out what the actual correct engine is there for that. The Dana rear axle available on the F350, F450 dually pickup with the 6.7 liter engine, F600 dually chassis cab with the 6.7 liter engine as well. Also, the frames available on the F450, 550, and dualies with the 179-inch wheelbase are limited availability. And then the Baja Tan interior as well. Exhaust availability is the 19.5-inch black sidewall tire that's standard on the F600 XL and XLTs, as well as the tire that's standard on the that's optional on the F600 XL and XLT. So that really hurts the F600 from getting scheduled. The HBK frame that's optional on the F350 two-wheel drives with the, again, it says 7.3 liter diesel, which that's not true. So I'll make a note and try to get information on that for next week. And the 169-inch wheelbase. Also, the 360-degree dual LED strobes, those are also exhausted. Heavy-duty alternator that's standard on the XL gas as well, too. So there you go. That's all the information on that. For next month, for Super Duty, it does mention in here, there's a note. We'll get to that in just a second. For Super Duty next month, they are going to be scheduling for January production dates. It does mention here that the 10R140 transmission controlled at 89% of total production. And then the XL 6.8 liter orders needed in order to keep the plant buildable. So you want to make sure if you have that configuration, there you go. Also, with that in mind, customers that placed both a 22 model year and 23 model year Super Duty retail orders that were left unscheduled are eligible for a $6,000 Super Duty model year transition offer. So if you're one of those people, program number 32262. Sorry, got a tickle in my throat there. All right, so there you go. That's pretty cool. Bringing out an offer there. All right, moving on. 24 model year F-150. There is currently 5,178 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for F-150. Order banks are open up for 24 model year, so place those orders. They are scheduling for the week of January 22nd. This is 23 model year is balanced out completely, so they are scheduling for January production or startup for production. There will be no scheduling for Raptor 37 and Raptor 30 and Raptor R. Only scheduling for Raptor base. That's the 801A. So there you go. That's no other constraints on that. And going forward for next month, they are not going to be scheduling for the Raptor 37 or the Raptor R next month either. Those are late availability options, it says in here. So if you're wanting one of those Raptor configurations, you're going to have to wait a little longer. And then they are scheduling for February production dates as well for next month. So no other constraints there. All right. 24 model year F-150 Lightning. I don't know how many unscheduled orders there are. They are scheduling for the week of January 22nd. 23 model year is balanced out. And order banks are open up for 24 model year F-150 Lightning orders. So keep that in mind. And then for next month's production, is there any notes? There's no notes for Lightning. It's not separate. Oh, here. No. No information on Lightning. There you go. All right. Now, let's talk about the 24 model year Mach-E. There are currently only 45 unscheduled retail orders for the Mach-E, but this says 24 model year. So the order banks will open up on 11/2 for the 24 model year Mach-E. They are not scheduling 23, which is crazy. So they need to get those last 45 scheduled. But I would say if you're one of those 45 on 11/2, put in a 24 model year order. So that's coming up Thursday. There you go. while we're on our trip. So we'll see if we get an order guide update for you and any changes on that, but we'll kind of be looking for that as well. So there you go. Maybe a working trip to Vegas. All right. Let's see. And yeah, other than that, that's what we got on that. 24 model year Transit. There are currently 5,833 unscheduled transit orders in the order bank. Now, if you had a 23 that went unscheduled for transit, you need to put in a 24 model year transit order. So don't forget that. So some of you might have forgotten to do that. You'll need to place that order. They don't convert over themselves. You'll need to place your order. So that might be why it's a lower number than what I was expecting. Order banks are open up for 24 model year transit orders. They are scheduling for production week of December 18th. This is cleanup scheduling. So again, a dealership needs an allocation. Limit availability for the 3.5 liter EcoBoost GTDI engine. That's the engine option 99G. The high roof extended passenger van. Also the high roof long passenger van and the low roof passenger van. Also the medium roof passenger van, the high res camera, the Transit Trail package, as well as the AM/FM stereo with a 4-inch multi-function screen, the digital rear view mirror, and remote start. Those are all limited availability for the Transit for this week. Now, again, this is the information on this week. Now, let's talk about Transit for next week here. We do have a note in here about the Transit. It says Transit Trail. Customers that placed a 23 model year Transit Trail retail order that were serialized and canceled. So you might have had a Transit Trail order and it got a canceled VIN. You're getting a $3,000 model year private offer to move to 24 model year. So it says customers must place a 24 model year Transit Trail retail order that is CVP approved to get that transition offer. There you go. So, they said that they're done with the private offers, but if they can't do what they said they're going to do, they will make sure they take care of their customers. So, anyway, there you go. And then note for next month on the 24 model year Transit, they are going to be scheduling for January production dates. The power slide doors are not available for 24 model year. The 3.5 EcoBoost engine has low availability. Consider removing. And the high-res and 360 camera constraints may extend into January. There you go. And then, of course, eTransit is not wholesaling, or it says not wholesaling, is not going to be scheduling next month. So if you have an eTransit, take the month off. You're not going to get scheduled. And then Transit Connect, we're done. No wholesaling because they're done with that. So there you go. There is all the information on that. We do have some regional constraint guides here for next month. Now, these are constraints not for this week, but for next month. Some things to note on Bronco. The capacity is 70% for January, February. It says for the hardtop, 70% can be built as a hardtop. That's a high number. Leave those hardtops on. I think you'll be all right. 15% for the two-door. That's still at 15%. That's not changing. The 2.7 liter engine is at 40%. Actually, that might be 45%. Sorry. Wildtrak still at 15%. Sasquatch moved from 40 to 35%. Something to take note there. Modular front bumpers at 40%. Lux package is at 40%. That's the high Lux now package. Everglades is at 2.5%. Very low. So if you got an Everglades, hope you're willing to wait. That'd be one of the constraints, maybe. 14% for manual transmission, by the way. And then Raptor's 9%. Heritage Edition is 6%. That'd be the four-door version. Heritage Limited is 1.5%. And then two-door Heritage Limited is 0%. And the Heritage both are 0%. So they're not going to schedule any. And then 0% for the shadow black paint on the non-Raptor. So there you go. Some things to note there. Bronco Sport, the only one we already mentioned, 24% for convenience package. On the Escape, 0% base, 42% active, 37% ST line, and 8% the premium technology package. We already talked about those numbers. It does say for Expedition, 0% for the Platinum without the optional 22-inch wheel, and 0% limited with the mahogany interior. 302A. All right. And then Explorer, they're not going to be scheduling. They have 0% on everything on Explorer. And then F-150 80% of them will be Super Crew. 20% of them will be non-Super Crew. 80% will be four-wheel drive. And then tonneau covers is only 4%, very low number. The XLT Black Appearance Package, 10%, whereas the Black Appearance Package Plus is 3%. 7% Black Lariat Black Appearance Package, 6% the STX Black Appearance Package. That's probably just the STX package. Anyway, let's see what else. 3% Heritage Edition, so very low number there as well. F-150 Lightning, 35% standard range battery, 65% extended range. So that's a breakdown there. 0% Pro, 24% XLT, 40% Flash Edition, 24% Lariat, and 12% Platinum on that. Super Duty, 36% XL, 20% XLT, 33% Lariat, 5 to 7% King Ranch, 6 to 8% Platinum, 2 to 3% Limited. And then your engines, 41% with a 6.7 diesel, standard diesel, 25% with the high output diesel, and then 22% for the gas engine, the 7.3 liter gas, and then 18 to 21% for the 6.8 liter gas engine. 12% chassis cabs, very low number. Also 1% with the tonneau cover. So if you have a Super Duty tonneau cover, take it off. 1% is pretty low. The Pro Trailer Backup Assist option 52T is 45%. And then Sport Appearance Package 6%, Spray and Liner 30%, Trimmer Off-Road 8%. So there you go for that. On the Transit Trails only 2% for that. Maverick Hybrid 40%. We mentioned that. XL Series 23%. XLT almost half, 49%. Lariat 28% capacity, and then trailer tow hitch 64%. That'd be with or without a package. If it's in a package as well, it's all of them together. And Splash Guard is 5%. Mustang Night Pony Package, including the roof, it says 0%. It says retail only. Now, this must be for stock scheduling or something. The California Special, 2%. So it's very low. It does say 0% for the Dark Horse Handling Package. So I think there probably is some. Maybe they're just showing that for stock, because it says 50% for the Dark Horse Appearance Package and 60% for the Dark Horse Custom Accent Hood and Painted Stripe, and 0% for the Dark Horse Carbon Fiber Wheel, it says. 45% GT, 20% convertible, 5% black or bronze appearance package, 2% the wheel and stripe package. So there goes a breakdown on some of that. 8% Recaro leather seats. Almost missed that one. The Mustang Mach-E, 45% the extended range battery. 15% the select version standard range. 9% the select version standard range all-wheel drive. And then 12% the select version extended range all-wheel drive. And then 17, most all the premiums are right in the teen range there. 17% for the premium standard range rear-wheel drive, 14% for the premium standard range all-wheel drive, 10% for the premium extended range rear-wheel drive, and 23% for the premium extended range all-wheel drive. GT version 0%, 50% for the comfort package light, and there we go. That's the constraints for, and this is for next month, is what we're talking about there, and that's for basically for the whole month. That'll ebb and flow throughout each week. So that's what our weekly live streams are for. But there is the scheduling information for this week.